Welcome back to another small garage adventure. Today, surprise, I got a Range Rover. So the Tahoe is gone. I picked this up, I don't know, October. The other day, what happened, and I already took the engine cover off here, but what happened is I started getting a misfire on cylinder 4. Now the other one's only cylinder 4, which, right here, I switched the plugs, that didn't do it. I switched the coil, that didn't do it. I swapped the coil between 1 and 4 just in case I got it mixed up. Didn't do it. So now what we're doing today is fuel injector. If you can see right under there, so these are your coils, that's going to be your fuel rail, and underneath there that's going to be the injector that we want to change. So I can't find any information on how to do this on this engine, so we're going to get through it. I'll pop the part number up right here, maybe right here, maybe right here, for sure in the description. The other thing you should get is this Range Rover fuel injector tool. There's certain things I don't mess with, and when it starts to say, you know, prone to cracking, stuff like that, that's where I get the right tools. Same with the injector. You can find cheaper ones. You can find a whole set for cheaper than I bought this one injector for, which, again, if you look at that part number, the Land Rover part number, it's about $300 for one injector. But when it comes to mechanical stuff like this, I learned it on the Tahoe. I don't mess around with Aftermarket because it usually doesn't like it. So first, we have to relieve pressure to the fuel rail. What it says to do is to pull the fuel pump fuse. So we have a cover right here. Take that off. Underneath there is your fuse panel. And if you can see right there, spot number 28, that 25 amp, which is right there. Pull that one out. Once you pull the fuse, go inside, start the car, let it run out of gas. After it does that, do that 2 or 3 more times, and that should take most of the pressure out of the fuel rail, but you'll probably still get some leaking once you take that off. Next, what we're going to do, just to get to the bolts for the fuel rail, going to take out all the coils. To those, you can see you got these little red tabs, which I can't push that one back right now. But anyway, push the little red tabs back, pop the plugs off, and then it's a T30 Torx bit to get the coils off. Alright, so all those are out. Make sure you don't drop anything down into your spark plug tubes, or you can also stuff something in there. Next, this plug is on the fuel rail. You can either work it out of there, or you can slide it off. Just make sure it's off that fuel rail. More stuff to get out of the way. These two 10 millimeters will get this wiring harness off of the top of the engine here, so you can get better access down to the bolts down there, which are also 10 millimeter. So I'm learning as I go here too. It's actually easier to move it that way. So I'll be honest, I don't know what these are, but unplug those to frame up from the front of the engine, and then you can slide it back that way. So once you have that out of the way, like I said, you can see that you have bolts for the fuel rail. We're going to have to free it up from the fuel supply here. So that's what we're going to tackle next. Alright, so I took the other half of that cowl cover off to get access to this bolt right here. This is the one that, if you look and follow it, attaches directly to the fuel rail down here. This other one must be a return. It goes all the way over here. It's not connected to the fuel rail that I can see. Anyway, this bolt, I don't know what size it is. I used an adjustable wrench to loosen it up. I put a paper towel underneath because, as you can see, when you take it off, you are still going to get some fuel leaking. So now I'm going to go in with that 10 millimeter and I should be able to pull the fuel rail off. Alright, so I said I'm learning too. So to get one of these bolts down here, this other one that I said isn't connected to the fuel rail is in the way. So undo the second one over there, and then under where we took those 10 millimeters off, the studs say 12 millimeter, and the entire thing comes out. And then you get a little flexibility in that other line so you can get to that 10 millimeter down there. Alright, then last thing I can see is connected to that fuel rail is this plug right here, right in the dead center. It's got this yellow tab. Pull that up. Alright, like I said, I'm learning too. In the quest to get this out, just end up unplugging every wire. Get it out of the way as much as possible. What I'm working on right now is there's a ground held on by an 8 millimeter right there, but you can just, wiggle a little bit and you can pull straight up, get that out of there. Once I got it raised up a little bit and I could get to this other end of the connector that was holding on that little fuel feed line, I took that off as well. Alright, so my light died. As you can see, all but one of these came out with the rail. So that other one is still in the engine. If that happens for you, it's not the biggest thing in the world. It's just held in with this clip down there. You'll have to get that clip out of the way and then use that tool to get it out of the engine. This is the one that was bad. When I first took it out, I wiped it off now, but this entire bottom side was covered. So I don't know if this one's clogged or if it's just not working, but this is our issue here. We'll get that off. My light died, but I mentioned that one of these was still stuck down in the engine, so I'm going to take it out. So this is the bad one here, but it's going to be in the engine with its clip on. This clip just pulls off the top. And then that tool that we got, here, I'll try to get it in camera a little better. There we go. So this is going to fit down over this part. So you're going to lower it down. Sorry. And then slide this down, and it's going to lock. And then use a little slide hammer that's attached to it, and you pull it out. Alright, so I got the third one out of the engine, back into the fuel rail. If it did stay in there, or if it did stay in the fuel rail, like the one that I have to replace did, you can see it's just got like a rubber ring that holds it in there. The clip will still be on, but you just kind of wiggle it around and then funk it out of there. Install, I'm not going to be able to do it with one hand, but put this clip on the exact same way, press it back up in there. Now that that's back in there, I'm just going to put everything back the exact same way. Lower this down, make sure everything is seated nice, lined up right, don't force anything, plug everything back in, and fingers crossed it works. Now I got this one out. I did do a resistance test on it, and it read fine, so I'm thinking it might just be that it was clogged, or it was intermittent that I would have the misfire. Like sometimes it would run fine, most of the time it would run bad, so maybe it's possible that this was just dying and currently it's fine. But replaced it anyway, and like I said, fingers crossed it fixes the issue.